Hello there, I'm Kepa and welcome to my reaction channel. Today I'm going to listen to some Whitesnake and to do some stories and thoughts about that band. It's quite easy to say that Coverdale's Whitesnake is the band which has been played most on my cassette players in the 1980s and vinyls and the CDs and DVDs and MP3s and Spotify and so on. Again, the band, the Whitesnake, is something. It's truly the band which don't need any kind of introduction. But here I go again, like a Coverdale sings. For those who don't know what the band is, the roots of the band goes to the 1976 when David Coverdale left the Deep Purple and he started to develop his own solo career as a singer. In 1977 came Coverdale's first solo album, which was called The Whitesnake, and in 1978 came out The North Winds. After that last solo album, Coverdale started to group a band at early 1978. They started the band with references with the Coverdale. There was some kind of force to use that, or at least Coverdale sees that they want to sell the band out as using his name because he was a former Deep Purple singer. So at the first the band was called Coverdale's Whitesnake, and July 1978 they produced their first EP album called Snakebite, and after that they changed the name just the Whitesnake like a Coverdale originally wanted. Also at the same time the band released their first debut album, which was called Trouble. In 1978 to 1980s, bands started to seriously touring, and they released their second album called Love Hunter in 1979, and next year they released their third album called Ready and Willing. And in that time, in that record, they released one of the most well-known songs called Fool for Your Loving. In 1981, they released an album called Come and Get It, and the song Don't Break My Heart Again. And in that point, the band started to grow some serious attention. So they start to get noticed in the world. In 1982 came out Saint and Sinners, which is one of the breaking point albums for the band. There was a lot of hit songs, and especially one of very big songs, which probably was the biggest moneymaker or success element behind the Whitesnake band. Those hit songs are, one of those was Crying in the Rain, and that huge song which is bring all the money and success to the band was Here I Go Again. And that album and those songs start to collect success for the band. And like I said, in matter of fact, the Here I Go Again is the biggest hit song of the band till today. In 1984, the band released the sixth studio album called Slide It In. And in this point, it's pretty easy to say that Whitesnake was or is pretty controversial in many ways. They raised gray hairs in some people, and reason for that was the sexiest lyrics and the acts and the cover arts and so on. It was very naughty in that time. Well, nowadays it isn't that big a deal. It's easy to say that bands like Steel Panther owns a lot for the Whitesnake. I mean, Steel Panther itself is using the same things what the Whitesnake had done. Whitesnake itself didn't invent the wheel itself. They are just one of those big bands who scaling up the whole thing. During those years when the band was starting at the 1978 to 1985, there was some changes at the band members. One of the biggest changes, what I like personally, is that John Lord from the Deep Purple was come to playing in the Whitesnake band. But year 1985 was bringing the troubles in the band, and the band had some internal issues. I guess the touring what they did was stressful and so on, and band itself get infected in some way in an internal point of view. And that means that whole lineup of the band members was going to change. Year 1987, Coverdale former lineup again, and that was many ways memorable lineup. There was Vivian Campbell on the guitar, Adrian Vandenberg also on the guitar, Rudy Sarzo, legendary bass player, and Tommy Aldridge at the drums. So very talented and legendary musicians. And when they had the new band lineup, they released a new album, call it Whitesnake. In Europe, or how I knew this album was called 1987. And album itself was presenting a new wave of the Whitesnake, new sound of the Whitesnake, which was created with this new lineup. That lineup and that album was huge success, as I have been understood and what I remember. But in 1989, the Vandenberg has some kind of troubles and issues with his wrist. Because of that Vandenberg's wrist, they had troubles to finish up the album. So Coverdale started to find a solution for it, and the solution was guitarist named Steve Vai. As far as I remember, the Steve Vai and Coverdale was planning to do something together earlier, but there wasn't the correct time or something like that. This was the correct time. So Steve Vai came to help Whitesnake to end that album, and later he continues as the band member. The new album was called Slip of the Tongue. In 1990, Coverdale informed that band would take extended break. Coverdale itself wants to do some solo albums and so on, so they went to the break with the Whitesnake. At the 1994, EMI record company was releasing this Whitesnake's greatest hits album. It sells very well. It was a huge success for the record company. And the record company EMI started to ask for the Coverdale that they will do some kind of touring, and Coverdale started to tour again with the Whitesnake. The Whitesnake was touring a couple of years and released the Restless Hearts album in 1997. And I guess there was some old issues or something behind the whole thing, because the Coverdale stopped the Whitesnake again. But in 2002, Whitesnake, or the Coverdale itself, wants to do some 25th anniversary comeback. That last lineup for the band was Duke Aldrich, Rep Beach, Marco Mendoza, Tommy Aldrich, and the Timothy Drury. And that was the lineup what is till the day. Well, not exactly. Duke Aldrich changed to the Joel Hoekstra. Don't know do I pronounce it correctly. He was replacing the Duke, and also the bass player has been changed. And what has came out at this last lineup, what last 20 years? They have produced albums during this time, but they are more or less their own hit collections. There's some couple of new albums, Good to Be Bad in 2008 and Forevermore was 2010. And also there's a Deep Purple album 2015, which was cover album for the old Deep Purple songs. Me and Whitesnake, like I said, I have been huge fan of that band. I like to see that Whitesnake has 3 eras. The first era is the original one, the blues era from 1978 to 1985. And next one was this hair metal era when there was the new lineup at the 1987 to 1990 with the Steve Vai, and that produced a new sound of the Whitesnake. And the last era, how I see is this last one, which is, to me, how I see it, it's some kind of retirement era for the band. I found band in 1982 to 1983, something like that. So I found a band, I started to listen when it was that first era. And also the hair metal era is some kind of next step for the band, how I see it. The last era for me is very boring. It is many ways a sad era. Basically, band is playing their all hit songs again and again for decades. I like to see that band had their most hungriest years at the beginning in that first era, and after that band started to repeat itself. Funny thing about Whitesnake, how I see it, is that they are cover or tribute band of themselves in many ways. They made most of their hit material, their hit songs in early 1980, and after that they just cover those hit songs again and again. Here I go again. And it's funny to see till today. What song I'm going to check out, what I'm going to react, what we are going to hear. There's only one song, and you guessed it right. It is Here I Go Again. No surprise there. But there is some kind of surprise or plot twist in this whole thing. I'm not going to check that well-known 1987 music video version where Tanya Kiatten is dancing between two jackers. We are going to go back in 1983 and we are going to check live show at the Donington Park. This presents the original version of that song, and this is the example of that first era of the band, where the sound was a little bit funkier. And also there's a John Lord. But that's about it. Chit chat. This was a long one. Let's just check this out.
We've got a song for you. Mr. Lord is going to introduce. Let's sing this together. No, I don't know where I'm going, but I sure know where I've been hanging on the promises and the songs of yesterday. I've made up my mind, I ain't wasting no more time. Here I go again. Here I go again, Lord.
Yeah, and that's Coverdale's singing voice is so good when in that time when he was younger. I mean, he has been always good singer, no doubt about it. But obviously, when he was younger in his prime, it sounds so much crispier and better.
Though I keep searching for an answer, I never seem to find what I'm looking for. Oh Lord, I pray you give me the strength to carry on, 'cause I know in need. So walk along the lonely street of dreams. Here I go again. Like a hobo, I was born to walk alone.
Funny thing, just realized. In this earlier version, he was Coverdale. The lyrics was going that like a hobo, I was born to walk alone. But they had to change the lyrics because there was a mishearing about the lyrics. At the newest version, he is singing that like a drifter, I was born to walk alone.
But I've made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. I'm just another heart in need of rescue, waiting on love's sweet charity. I don't wanna hold on for the rest of my days, 'cause I know what it means to walk alone this great dream. Here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known. Like a hobo, I was born to walk alone. But I made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. But here I go again. Here I go again. Here I go again. Here I go. Baby, baby. Well, I made up my mind, baby.
Guitar solos has been changed a lot. There are no shredding or something like that. It's sounds so different than when we are listening to Steve Vai versions.
I ain't wasting no more time. Come on, Donington. Here I go again on my own. Going down the only road I've ever known. Like a hobo on the stone to walk alone. I know what it means, baby, to walk alone this great dream. Here I go again on my own, going down the only road I've ever known. Like a hobo, I was born to walk alone. I made up my mind, baby. I ain't wasting no more time. But here I go again. Here I go again. Here I go again. Here I go. Here I go.
Of course, Whitesnake, Here I Go Again, from 1983. I like this version in many ways. Like I said, it's more bluish or funkiest or something like that, and it has its own timestamp from the late 70s or something like that. Still, while it's on the 18s. But there's something magical on that one. But it doesn't mean that the hair metal era version is bad. No, not anyway. I like that newer version a lot. I cannot say is this better or the worse than the old one, but I respect this original one in many ways because the later versions are just a copycat of this but new sound. Yeah, that was Whitesnake, older one, the first era. Please let me know what you think about these old Whitesnakes. Leave a comment, and also what you think about Whitesnake overall as a band, and please leave a feedback of this video. All the feedbacks are welcome. And also please subscribe my channel, that's very important to me. It's a best way to give support the things what I'm doing here. Until next time, I thank you for watching and saying bye. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos and don't forget to press like button and share.